we are. There we are. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. No notifications, really. That is such BS, but I believe it because I don't get notifications ever. I noticed that Wooden Eagle, she goes live, I think, every morning. And I never get her notifications. Usually, like, I check YouTube and she's just went off, or I'll catch like the tail end of something. So I never get notifications. I don't know. A lot going on. Todd Chrisley announced just like 3 days ago that things was going to happen today. Well, at first he said the 17th. He said, come the 17th, it's on like Donkey Kong. And someone was like, hold up, that's a Sunday. He was like, oh, never mind. Come the 18th, it's on. And then he said, because the Lord rests on Sundays. So everyone was waiting around. I mean, I was working. I was like, when it comes out, I'll figure it out. Somebody will let me know. I was checking Twitter every once in a while just to see if anything had come out, but nothing did yesterday. Well, yesterday. Was it yesterday? Nothing ever came out, but then I got a message saying like, hey, he filed something. Emily's going to go live, so you got to watch her stream. And we come to learn through Emily D. Baker that this was a pocket service, or it was pocket served. And this is basically him initiating a lawsuit before he officially files anything. Something has been, they have been served something. This summons and this summons. They've been served. We'll go over it. If you guys haven't watched Emily, I'm no lawyer. I'm no attorney. I can't break things down for you guys like she can, but we'll run over it really quick, and then I'll just give my 2 cents. And then I'm going to be in the comment section because I really want to know what you guys got to say. Also, I do want to say this video is for entertaining purposes only. Please do not take everything that I state as facts. Do your own research to determine your own opinion. Also, do not send hate to anyone mentioned in this video. A video is not meant to bully, harass, or defame anyone. So yeah, we're going to get into it. Some people want to jump on into it. Some people want to wait. Here's what we'll do. We'll go ahead and we'll start reading the documents because that'll take a little bit. And if anybody comes in and they want to go back, they'll go back. Wait, KJ got her brows done? When? Are you serious? You guys, I don't watch her. The only time I watch her is when, someone shares a clip of her on Twitter or Instagram or something like that. Like, I don't watch her channel. She really got her eyebrows done? Oh, I mean, that's good. Good on her. Then they'll look good. Roadhog was on KJ's behind tonight. How do the brows look? I hope they look. She got hold on. Now I've noticed, no, that really, because when she went on that rant about Todd Chrisley the other night, everybody said that she was, under the influence of something, alcohol, more than likely. I watched that. I watched the clips that was posted on Twitter. And I thought that was her normal brows. I thought that was like the way she normally would like draw them on. Her brows are pretty dark, a lot thicker than she used to do them. Oh, okay. Well, Hey, Lindsay. My real friend. Well, you guys are my real friends, but in-person friend. My in-person friend that we go way back, like knee-high to a grasshopper. She's on here. Yeah, Flossie got her whole face done pretty much. She got her eyebrows, she got her eyeliner, she got her lips. But she says she got them done. Okay, I'm gonna check it out because that's the last time I watched a video of her, it just seemed like her normal brows. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to be nice, Kiki. I'm trying to be nice. They look like two caterpillars. Oh, Lord. She just had her brows tinted. Okay. So no microblading? All right, then. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into it. I've got some stuff to mail to you. Do you, Amber? Look, you guys, in the past, like, month and a half, 2 awesome people have sent me necklaces. If you guys watch all the videos that I've been doing previously, I'm wearing this cross necklace that one of my really good friends got me. And then yesterday in the mail, I got this little bee necklace that someone sent to me. So thank y'all so much. You guys are really awesome. Has Scott filed for a lawsuit? Scott. What did I title this video, you guys? What did I title it? Because I'm not sure who Scott is. Okay, Todd Chrisley initiates lawsuit. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know where that's. I don't know who Todd is. I mean, I do know who Todd is. I don't know who Scott is. Let me get back over to you guys, and then we'll go ahead and we'll jump into it because it will take a minute. Janelle Evans was going to try. I did see that. Okay, I gotta say this. Yes, it's a perfect necklace because it's a bee, right? And then my other one is a cross, which is awesome. Oh, Steve. I'm not sure about Steve, but I do have to say this. Okay, everyone was asking me if I was going to join this lawsuit. Like from the moment that like Todd Chrisley came out saying, you know, we're going to sue her, and if anybody wants to join, I had a lot of people message me. I had a lot of people saying, you should do it, you should do it, you should do it. And me and Sean went back and forth. Should we do it? Should we not do it? Should we join? Should we not join? Ultimately, we decided we're going to sit it out and we're just going to let it play out without us in it. Do I think I have grounds for a lawsuit? Or yeah, absolutely, I do. But being a part of someone else's situation is kind of intimidating, you know, and like Todd was asking other people, if Katie has done you wrong, like hit us up, reach out to my attorney. And that scared me because thank you, Leanne Jones, a new sub here. Glad I found your videos, even if it was because of the crap KJ does to you. She's foul. Thank you, Leanne. I'm glad you found me as well. So one thing that I was a little concerned with, and I do wonder if this is going to happen, people jump on this opportunity to be a part of this lawsuit when they don't have a case. It's just something like so small that happened between them and Katie. Katie's done, in my opinion, Katie's done so much to so many people, right? A lot of us feel like, oh, she did this to me, so I think I could be a part of this and I could just tell my story because she wronged me. So I want to get a little bit of justice here, and Todd Chrisley's offered to pay for it, and I'll have other people, you know, with me. I'm so sorry for the shadows, you guys. One of my lights went out, and normally I think it kind of takes care of the shadows. I'm going to have to get some of the big lights. It sounded like I said big lights. Big lights. Anyways, so that was one of my concerns. Early on, I heard that someone joined the lawsuit that I was like, I don't know how that's going to, I don't know how that's going to work because I personally witnessed this person like tweet about Katie over and over and over, accuse Katie of things that it wasn't really possible for Katie even to do. Not saying that Katie wasn't doing something to this person, but she wasn't doing what this one person was accusing her of. Also, I had only known of Katie to mention this person like twice, and both times it was in reference to, I'm not doing what you're saying I'm doing. Leave me alone. because the person was accusing Katie of things. So Katie tweeted like, I'm not doing that. Leave me alone. I don't even know who you are. We all know how Katie operates. I don't know who you are, you know? So when I noticed that this one person announced that she was going to be joining the lawsuit, I was like, ooh. And then I heard that someone else was joining and they just had one like incident with it. And I was like, I don't know if this is just going to be a bunch of people jumping in on this because they're given the opportunity. I'll tell you, Candy. Everybody burps. Love this channel. Wanted to say what an honor it was to have you like my tweets. I was super starstruck. Oh, thank you. I don't like a whole lot of tweets because usually when I get on Twitter is to post something or I'm scrolling looking for something. So must have been a good tweet. But thank you. Is it everybody burps? Everybody does burp. So I wonder if it's a certain. Oh, well, you know, you guys could probably figure it out who I'm talking about, but it did concern me because I was like, if I would have joined this lawsuit, let me tell you guys, me and Katie, we have like 2.5 years worth of history of, you know, this back and forth, live streams, you know, just going at each other. I've tried to always, you know, maintain a certain, I don't know, not cross a line. You know what I'm saying? I've always tried to not cross the line when I do talk about the things that she's done to me. The videos that I put out, my little series that I put out to discuss what happened between me and her, I've always tried to just kind of stick to the facts and then talk about my opinion in regards to those facts. I've tried to make sure I don't defame her or anything like that. But in my personal opinion, I definitely feel like she's defamed me. I know that she's hurt my business in multiple ways, you know, by telling Andrew Glennon not to trust me, by not giving, you know, Matt Bayer my information, by flagging my channel, you know, several things, right? So I definitely felt like maybe I had a decent chance, but I was still nervous to jump in on someone else's lawsuit. You know, so, and now I'm glad that I didn't. And not to say that it's not going to be a good lawsuit, because it very well may be, and he may win. He may be the one to take Katie down. I don't know that. You know, I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I would have to say I was blown away by the outcome, the Tati lawsuit, because I really thought 100 and 200% like thought that Tati had a great chance of winning. And, you know, maybe she did, but they filed in the wrong jurisdiction, and it was just a lot of hoopla. It was, you know, people filing declarations that had no business filing declarations, people inserting themselves in it so they could say, I filled out a deposition. Deposition? Is it a deposition? What's it called? Not a deposition. What's it called? I filled out a everybody's brain farts too, and my brain is farting. But I filled out, you know, what everybody was filling out, what Nat filled out, what Lori filled out, what Kim filled out, you know, what everybody was jumping to tell their story. And I worried when Todd, you know, started opening this up. Affidavit? Is it an affidavit? Is that what we were calling them back then? Declaration. I think it was a declaration. Yes. Florien's declaration. Yep. Nat's declaration. Did I say Nat B earlier? But anyways, so we'll go over the documents. It's not really a whole lot, but I'm kind of shocked, right? Because I thought, I don't know, like I did not think his main issue was going to be this tape. Warning, we're going to be talking about, you know, rated R stuff. I guess you could say a little bit more than PG-13. Adult content. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Adult content. So I definitely thought we were going to be talking about more than just the sex tape in this. Like, when I heard that Todd Chrisley was wanting to sue Katie, I thought of all the things that I knew. You know, I'm like, oh, she called him gay multiple times. The things that she stated about the tax lawsuit, the federal indictment, you know, the way she made fun of Todd and Julie Chrisley when she would start her, we'll say a dirty tape. The way she made fun of them when she would start her live streams where she was going to discuss them, she would have scissors and she would have glue, and she said things about how Julie forged documents to make their bank accounts look bigger than they were, blah, 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 blah. I thought it was going to be things more along those lines, but what was filed only discusses like this sex tape, this adult tape, right? So we're going to go ahead and get into you guys. Yeah, right. I really thought maybe the discussions about his sexuality would be a big talking point, but it really wasn't. It was mentioned a little bit. I'm going to go over it, but I do have to say I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. I took law studies in high school, and I don't remember a lot about that either. So, yeah, there's that. But I will read over this, and I'm going to try to make sure I'm checking in on the chat every once in a while. But after I read it, then we'll just discuss it, you guys. Alrighty. Let me bring this up. Okay. Can you guys see that? Or should I make this where it's just the documents? Played it. Flossie, be quiet. Nasty. Okay. So it says it was filed in Minnesota, so we don't have the problem of jurisdiction like we did with Tati. Is it blurry? Yeah, we're just going over the documents right now. Now, Emily Baker told us that this has been pocket served. So they will have 20 days from the time that she got this, which was yesterday, according to Emily. She'll have 20 days there will be a 20-day window where they can basically decide to mediate, like not go any further. Like Todd's attorneys and her attorneys could decide, we want to settle this outside of court. Oh, that's true, Candy. I do. We're going to settle this outside of court, and we'll let our attorneys handle this in mediation or whatever the case may be. She said they could agree to ADR, which is alternative dispute resolutions. They'll still do like their depositions and everything, but it won't be filed. It won't be like a full-blown lawsuit from my understanding, right? It's probably business days. I would imagine 20 business days, right? A lot of times when you're dealing with the legal system and courts and stuff like that, it's business days. So it says Michael Todd Chrisley versus Catherine Mansky Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball LLC. I hope I can read this because it actually is a little blurry. Jessica cannot hear me. Can you guys let Jessica know that you guys can hear me? So maybe I don't want to say make sure her volume is up because that sounds kind of rude. And anytime, I'm like, oh, I can hear you. And there goes your volume up. It kind of irritates me because I'm like, I'm not dumb. Yes, my volume is up. But can someone just let her know that you guys can hear me? So it says to Catherine Mansky Paulson, a.k.a. Katie Joy Paulson. Maybird, I respect your decision to not join the lawsuit. I hope you continue to cover it, giving your opinion. Thank you so much, Maybird. I'm definitely going to continue covering it. I'm just going to try to remain professional, even though it's kind of hard because I do have a little bit of personal stake in this situation. You are being sued. The plaintiff has started a lawsuit against you. The plaintiff's complaint against you is attached to this summons. Do not throw these papers away. They are official papers that affect your rights. You must respond to this lawsuit, even though it may not yet be filed with the court and there may be no court file number on this summons. It kind of reminds me of that letter that everyone got that was like, what did it say? Like, you must take this serious. The one that Katie sent out to everyone, you must take this serious. You probably need to hire an attorney. Do not talk about Katie anymore. Yeah, well, here we are. You must reply within 20 days to protect your rights. You may give or mail to the person who signed the summons a written response called an answer within 20 days of the date on which you received this summons. You must send a copy of your answer to the person who signed the summons located at, and then that's the address of the attorney, I'm assuming. You must respond to each claim. The answer is your written response to the plaintiff's complaint. In your answer, you must state whether you agree, disagree with each paragraph of the complaint. If you believe the plaintiff should not be given everything asked for in the complaint, you must say so in your answer. This is literally gonna be like a paper that you do in school. You know, like you gotta go through the complaint, see what the complaints are, and then you gotta go like line 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, line 1. This is the complaint. Now this is my response to that complaint. Nope, I don't agree with it. Line 2. This is a complaint. Okay, this is what nope. I feel like this is literally like a classroom project almost. You must respond to each claim. Oh, did I read that already? No. The answer is your written response to the plaintiff's complaint. In your answer, you must state whether, yeah, I did. Just read that. Yes, I did. Sorry, you guys. I've been up since like 5:30 for the past 2 mornings and not going to bed till like 1 o'clock. And there's a train coming. Sorry. You will lose your case if you do not send a written response to the complaint, to the person who signed this summons. If you do not answer within 20 days, you will lose this case. You will not get to tell your side of the story, and the court may decide against you and award the plaintiff everything asked for in the complaint. If you do not want to contest the claims, let me play this a little bit. If you do not want to contest the claims stated in the complaint, you do not need to respond. A default judgment can be entered against you for the relief requested in the complaint. Legal assistance. You may wish to get legal help from a lawyer. If you do not have a lawyer, the court administrator may have information about places where you can get legal assistance. Even if you cannot get legal help, you must still provide a written answer to protect your rights, or you may lose the case. Alternative dispute resolution, which is what we were talking about earlier. The parties may agree to or be ordered to participate in an alternative dispute resolution process under Rule 114 of the Minnesota General Rules of Practice. You must still send your written response to the complaint, even if you expect to use alternative means of resolving this dispute. Okay, and here is the actual complaint. Michael Todd Chrisley versus Catherine Mansky-Paulson without a crystal ball LLC. Michael Todd Chrisley brings this complaint against Catherine Mansky-Paulson, aka Katie Joy Paulson, and alleges as follows: nature of the action. For 2 years, Katie Joy Paulson has made a living by broadcasting defamatory falsehoods about Michael Todd Chrisley to her thousands of social media followers. She has repeated and embroidered malicious lies. Let me move this over so I can see the rest of that. Did I just skip that whole thing? Did I just skip? No, there it is. Yeah, malicious lies about Mr. Chrisley, star of USA's popular reality TV show Chrisley Knows Best, in order to drive web traffic to her various social media platforms. While her campaign of defamation has ranged over a variety of topics, Mrs. Paulson has played a key role in spreading and perpetuating a particularly vicious fiction that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his own daughter, threatening to release a sex tape and nude photographs of her unless she agreed to perjure herself in a criminal investigation. These allegations is unequivocally false. Mr. Chrisley never made such a threat, nor, to Mr. Chrisley's knowledge, does such tape exist. I do want to comment on this really quick. You know, if, just for instance, say, if he would have made those threats to her, to Lindsay, that's illegal. That's against the law. That is called revenge porn. So she could have just went to the authorities and said, my dad is threatening me with this, and he could have potentially been arrested for it, you know? That's not saying that he didn't, not saying that he did. So let's continue. Mrs. Paulson, a self-described close personal friend of Lindsay Chrisley, has nonetheless repeated it over and over. She has touted her friendship with Mrs. Chrisley, implying that she possesses inside knowledge of the incident in question. She has even fabricated an interview with an anonymous Chrisley Knows Best crew member to corroborate it. But Mrs. Paulson has known that's impossible and incredibly damaging, this improbable and incredibly damaging allegation to be false from the start. She has repeated it to the curry favor with Lindsay Chrisley, whose friendship with Mrs. Paulson is among the few things distinguishing Mrs. Paulson's social media presence from her competitors, as well as to enrich herself at Mrs. Chrisley's expense. I'm glad that he said that, because, I mean, you know, it is what it is. When you have a YouTube channel and this is what you do, you know, you look up sometimes and you get a big story. Someone reaches out to you and you get the story, and sometimes you don't. But I do feel like, in my personal opinion, that Katie will try to do things like this to get people to talk to her, so she has inside knowledge of the story, right? Like, we know that Katie, the Clark Swanson situation, right? When Clark Swanson filed this lawsuit against Tati Westbrook, somehow Katie become, you know, acquaintances or friends with him or whatever. That way she had the inside scoop. Nobody else knew anything that was happening behind the scenes except her, because she managed to, you know, weasel her way into the story to make friends with this guy. So she had inside knowledge. The difference is, and I feel like a lot of creators would agree with me on this, I've never viewed it as a competition. But she has. Katie always has. And I guess that's why she feels the need to do things like this, like the whole Matt Byer situation. She would not give me his number. And it's because she viewed me as competition. And really, that's not the case. When I watch, you know, when I watch on YouTube, usually I watch multiple creators talk about the same thing, just because I want to watch as many people as possible talk about this, something that interests me. You know, I'm sure you guys do not watch only me. I'm sure y'all watch someone else. But for some reason, Katie, she tends to believe that she's in competition with everybody. And, you know, the viewers, they're only going to pick one, and she's got to be the one. So she manages to weasel her way into these stories so she can get the scoop on what's going on. Okay, so where were we? Okay. Not content merely to repeat this falsehood, Mrs. Paulson has recently accused Mr. Chrisley of attempting to extort her as well. She has falsely claimed to her thousands of followers that Mr. Chrisley made threats against her, and in doing so, committed the felony of extortion. In my personal opinion, I don't agree with that. When you get on your platform and you say, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to sue the pants off you, I'm going to sue you until you are broke as a joke, I think he's sticking to his word, right? That's not a threat. That's him telling you what he's going to do. Prepare. Mr. Chrisley will not suffer further accusations of criminality and unconscionable. What? Where's the rest? Behavior towards his own daughter. Accordingly, Mr. Chrisley brings this suit. So he's saying, I'm sick of it. I'm not going to allow her to treat me this way. And he's even saying he will not suffer further accusations of criminality and unconscionable behavior towards his own daughter either. So that statement kind of confuses me. Mr. Chrisley, parties. Todd Chrisley is an individual resident in Nashville, Tennessee, located in Davidson County. Catherine Mansky Paulson, a.k.a. Katie Joy Paulson, a resident of Hanover, Minnesota, located in Wright County. I've been live for 31 minutes. What, did I skip too much? Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I feel like I went too far already. No, okay. Without a Crystal Ball, LLC is a limited liability company incorporated in Minnesota under the, I'm not sure. Does that say AUSPICES? Under the something of which Ms. Paulson operates and monetizes her various social media outlets. On information and belief, Ms. Paulson is the sole member of Without a Crystal Ball and completely dominates its operations. Mrs. Paulson and Without a Crystal Ball are alter egos of each other, or at the very least acted in concert in committing the torts described herein. Background. Michael Todd Chrisley is a real estate investor and star of USA's network reality TV show Chrisley Knows Best. The program, now in its 9th season, follows Mr. Chrisley and his family, including his children. Lindsay Chrisley is Mr. Chrisley's eldest daughter. She played a recurring role on Chrisley Knows Best until its 5th season. At that point, the network declined to include her in future seasons of the show. Lindsay Chrisley blamed her family, and particularly her father, for her ejection from the series. As a result, she became estranged from her family and lashed out at them in the media over the following years. On October 17, 2019, Lindsay Chrisley gave an interview on the talk show Dr. Phil. She recounted a meeting between her and her father at which Mr. Chrisley discussed criminal investigations into him and his family. In her account of the meeting, she denied having an affair with a state official involved in one of the investigations. She stated that Mr. Chrisley, hold up, I lost my place. She stated that Mr. Chrisley told her at the conclusion of the meeting that Chase Chrisley, her half-brother, had obtained a sex tape featuring her and a man other than her then-believed husband for $5,000. She agreed when asked by Dr. Phil if she viewed this as a veiled threat against her. Lindsay Chrisley's account of the meeting is inaccurate, but even taken as true, Mr. Chrisley did not threaten to release this sex tape or naked photos of his daughter to coerce her. Oh, 19 is missing. I noticed that when I was uploading this. Sorry, you guys. Catherine Mansky-Palsy, who uses the stage name Katie Joy Paulson, has nonetheless, no, it was 17 that was missing. This is all over the place, and I apologize. If you really want to watch a put-together one that knows what they're talking about, go check out Emily Baker. We're winging it here, you guys. Catherine Mansky-Palsy, who uses the stage name Katie Joy Paulson, has nonetheless spent the ensuing 2 years falsely claiming the opposite. Mrs. Paulson is an internet personality who, through her company Without a Crystal Ball, monetizes her social media presence on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Mrs. Paulson claims to be a close personal friend of Mr. Chrisley's daughter and frequently touts her relationship with Lindsay Chrisley through her various social media outlets. Because Mrs. Paulson dedicates much of her content on her social media accounts to reality television, her relationship with Lindsay Chrisley helps distinguish her from competing internet personalities with a similar focus. Since Lindsay Chrisley interviewed with Dr. Phil, Mrs. Paulson has frequently repeated the false claims that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his daughter by threatening to release a sex tape and naked pictures if she refused to lie to the authorities investigating Mr. Chrisley. She has embroidered this falsehood, claiming and implying that she possessed independent corroborating evidence to bolster it. Hold on a second. Thank you, Candy. Thank you for becoming a member, Candy. Okay. Mrs. Paulson, false statements concerning the Mr. Chrisley attempting to extort his We're going to skip to number 22 because I cut that one off too. Since Lindsay Chrisley's interview with Dr. Phil, no, I haven't. No, I didn't. Mrs. Paulson has frequently repeated the false claims that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his daughter by threatening to release a sex tape and naked pictures if she refused to lie to authorities investigating Mr. Chrisley. She has embroidered this falsehood, claiming and implying that she possesses independent corroborating evidence to bolster it. Mrs. Paulson, false statements concerning the Mr. Chrisley attempting to extort his daughter with a sex tape. The sex tape statements include the following. On October 19th, 2019, Mrs. Paulson posted a now deleted YouTube video lasting more than 45 minutes dedicated to the allegation that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his daughter with a sex tape. In that video, Mrs. Paulson speculated at length that Mr. Chrisley was involved in a plot to extort his daughter. Mrs. Paulson repeated the allegation that Chase Chrisley and possibly Todd were coercing Lindsay and Robbie. The assumption here is that Chase was attempting to obtain any videos or nude photos that he would have of Lindsay in an effort to have leverage over her in order to threaten her to cooperate with this investigation. In another now deleted video from October 19, 2020, Mrs. Paulson claimed that somebody anonymously from the Chrisley Knows Best crew actually reached out to me to let me know that they watched Lindsay's interview with Dr. Phil, and they said, I believe her. I'm not even lying. Mrs. Paulson goes on to again repeat that Todd Chrisley approached Lindsay and told her about new photos and a video that her brother Chase had obtained for $5,000, and that she needed to be careful about what she said, or things wouldn't end well, with the implication that the PR team might leak a story with containing those nude photos, or that she was having an affair with a Georgia state official. She then proceeded to describe her interview with the anonymous Chrisley Knows Best crew member, intending to bolster this allegation. On information and belief, there was no interview with an anonymous Chrisley Knows Best crew member, and Mrs. Paulson fabricated the whole encounter. Her deletion of this video appears to confirm as much. Wasn't it proven that there was never a tape? I do think the friend... Okay, so what happened was when Lindsay and Will split up, one of the times they split up, she did sleep with Robbie Hayes. And, I wish I would have known that Wildflower was going to go live. I would have asked her to just like hop over here or something, and we could have done this one together. But she slept with Robbie Hayes, and she slept with one of the other bachelorettes. Bachelors, not bachelorettes. I don't remember the other one's name. But I think it was Robbie Hayes. They slept together at a friend's house. They had all went out somewhere together, come back, and this happened on the couch of a friend's house. Well, that friend had security cameras or something to that effect. So it was believed that it could have been captured on camera, but the friend actually came out to say, no, it didn't. It wasn't on there. So, yeah, I do believe the friend came forward to say no tape exists. It just makes me wonder, if this happened, if they met up and Todd said, you need to be careful, was he saying it in a way? He said, you better be careful, or things wouldn't end well. If you're not careful, things could possibly go wrong. That would be like me telling Paris, hey, you better be careful when you get in that car and go to school. Things might not end well. But that don't mean that I'm going to come run her off the road. You get what I'm saying? So maybe the intent is not what she felt that it was, or she thought that it was. So anyways, allegedly puppy cams. Yeah, that's right. In another YouTube video dated October 23rd, 2019, Mrs. Paulson again repeated a length of allegations that Mr. Chrisley threatened to release the sex tape if Lindsay Chrisley did not cooperate. She further stated that tweets Mr. Chrisley had posted much earlier were clearly threats that he was going to release this tape. Let's see. Hold on. I want to check something really quick. Because I tried to find. Okay, so one of the tweets, like mother, like daughter, once a cheater, always a cheater, once a liar, always a liar. Hashtag truth may cost you your kid. Hashtag it's coming out. Hashtag gloves off. That was one of the tweets. And, you know, he insinuates that she cheated on Will because they were still legally married. They never got a divorce. They were separated at the time. But in his mind, I guess, he's still saying, well, you still cheated because you were still married. In my mind, I'm like, if we're not living together and we're separated, then, you know, whatever. Anyways, the hashtag it's coming out, he could just be stating there, like, he may release the information that you cheated, but that's still not saying that a video or a picture or anything is coming out. Savannah Chrisley, too funny. Come after me. I really don't care. Come after my mama. You're over. Watch what you tell when your bed isn't clean. Hashtag literally. And then Todd said, especially since there's been more men in your bed than your husband has spent time there. Hashtag two bachelors. Hashtag in-laws. Hashtag videos. Hashtag photos. Hashtag let's do this. So here he's just acknowledging, you know, maybe that he heard about the videos or the photos, but he's still not saying he would put them out. But like I told my husband, Sean, I said, you know, I might would take that as, I might would take that. That might would make me nervous. You know, if I was hearing that there was a video or photos out there and then my dad tweeted that, I might would think like, damn, is he going to release that or what? But still, there's not a direct threat of him saying he's going to release anything. Let's see. I know there's more. I should have sent them to myself rather than having to find them on here. Evelina, I do want to discuss that in a little bit at the end. Remind me in a little bit. Can you guys see me now? All right, let's go back to this. Oh, nope, I'm on Twitter. I'm on the Twitter. Okay, so in a January 5th, 2020 YouTube video, Ms. Paulson again repeated the allegations that Mr. Chrisley had attempted to extort his daughter with a sex tape. She stated, among many other similar statements, who would want to read stuff from a father that is constantly saying negative things about you, and hell, threatening to release trying to buy a tape between you and your ex, because they are mad at you because you wouldn't lie to federal prosecutors, according to our federal prosecutors, or federal prosecutors really into an investigation into his alleged tax evasion. So this was literally, I think they was like transcribing this. What's it called? This is a transcript. Yeah, this is a transcript of her video because, like Emily D. Baker said, it's got all the ums and the, you know, it sounds really weird to read it like that. Constantly saying negative things about you, and hell, threatening to release trying to buy a tape between you and your ex because they're mad at you because you wouldn't lie to federal prosecutors, according to, or federal prosecutors really into an investigation into his alleged tax evasion. Everybody, KJ just posted and said, we all need to get a life. She's got to have no one scares me. Thank you so much for the super chat. You know, this is what she's got to understand. She is a public figure now. She has inserted herself into so many stories and become a part of the story. That's just what it is. She's had Tati Westbrook, who is one of the biggest beauty bloggers, on YouTube sue her, file a lawsuit against her. Now, Todd Chrisley, who is a huge celebrity with a very popular, TV show, what does she expect? People that cover reality TV just to sit back and not say anything, not talk about it? Sorry, it's going to be talked about. It's just what it is. Similarly, in a series of tweets dated June 25th, 2020, Mrs. Paulson repeated again the falsehoods that Mr. Chrisley threatened his daughter with releasing a sex tape. Mrs. Paulson alluded to receiving private details or information from Lindsay Chrisley and stated with regarding to the allegation that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his daughter with a sex tape. I believe her, she said. So I remember watching Katie, and it was just a clip where she said, oh, I've been talking to Lindsay Chrisley for hours, and now I got to figure out a way to give you guys the information that she told me, but still in a way that's respectful to my friend because this is her family. That's what she said, right? Now, that could potentially help her, like Emily Baker said. If someone told you something and then you went and repeated it because you thought that it was facts, then that kind of saves you from defamation because it doesn't show that you maliciously and knowingly lied about something, right? But Todd Chrisley said in one of his podcast episodes, I don't know, maybe about a month ago, that Lindsay Chrisley had already been deposed, and she was asked, did you give Katie Joy any information about anybody in the family? And that Lindsay said no. So when Katie is deposed, isn't she going to be deposed next month on like the 8th or something? They'll ask her the same question. Like, did Lindsay Chrisley give you any information about anyone in the family? And if Katie says no, well, that could hurt her because then that would mean all these things that she said about the family, she come up with them on her own. But if she says yes, then that means Lindsay may be in a pickle because she lied. Or someone lied because you can't have opposite answers and both people be telling the truth, right? Okay, so let's continue. In yet another tweet dated August 12th, 2021, Mrs. Paulson falsely claimed that Lindsay Chrisley provided evidence for the alleged sex tape extortion by Todd Chrisley and Chase Chrisley. In reality, Lindsay Chrisley provided no evidence at all indicating that Todd Chrisley had attempted to extort her with a sex tape. So that's also going to go to if Lindsay told her, like, oh, I have proof of this. But she also says that Lindsay provided evidence to her, I'm assuming. And Lindsay probably in her deposition probably said, no, I didn't give her anything to prove. That was just, what I thought. But either way, someone's going to get caught lying. Somebody lied. Now, who was it exactly? And yes, Lindsay Chrisley, she was under oath when she was deposed. And so will KJ. KJ will be under oath when she's being deposed. There's a lot of proof out there of Katie saying, just talk to Lindsay. And even in the past few days, she's been, and maybe this is why she's been doing it. But the past few days on her channel, she's been saying things like, or on tweets, really, leave Lindsay alone. Lindsay's my friend. I'm so glad I got a friend like Lindsay. Today, she tweeted at Lindsay and Lindsay didn't even acknowledge her. Because Lindsay's over here like, I don't know you. I ain't tell you nothing. I don't know you. I didn't say anything to you. We never talked. I don't know who you are. And Katie's like, we're friends. We're friends. Yes, we've talked all the time. You told me everything. But that can't be the truth. It can't be both ways. On August 13th, 2021, Mrs. Paulson created a Facebook post concerning the allegation that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his daughter with a sex tape. In that Facebook post, Mrs. Paulson posted points to screenshots of an affidavit that made no mention of Mr. Chrisley, but Mrs. Paulson nonetheless proceeded to imply that Mr. Chrisley was where is it? involved in a plot to extort his daughter by stating in a text message allegedly between Todd Chrisley and Lindsay Chrisley, Todd allegedly tells Lindsay that she was worth $5,000 to her friend. He claims to have knowledge of the video. That could be about anything, though. I mean, I don't know. But if the video don't exist and everybody's saying it don't exist, then Chase couldn't have purchased it for $5,000. On August 21st, 2021, Mrs. Paulson made an Instagram post discussing Mr. Chrisley and referring to the allegations that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his daughter with a sex tape and naked pictures. She noted that Lindsay Chrisley had posted a screenshot of Todd. Screenshot. Did I already read that one? Lord, you guys, I'd done this in quick fast and in a hurry. Screenshot of Todd Chrisley and Lindsay talking about a sex tape and a $5,000 price tag. The screenshots indicate that Lindsay Chrisley did not believe her father to be involved in any effort to extort her by threatening to release a sex tape. Mrs. Paulson concludes the post by saying, extortion is a felony, referencing the false claims that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his daughter. Mrs. Paulson broadcasted the sex tape statements to many thousands of people through her various social media outlets. Mrs. Paulson knew the sex tape statements to be false when she made them, or at least acted with reckless disregard as to the truth, like she does, right? Mrs. Paulson knew the sex tape statements to be false based on her relationship and regular communication with Lindsay Chrisley. Moreover, the sex tape statements are so sensationalistic as to be improbable on their face. Any reasonable person would have cause to doubt the claim that a father attempted to extort his own daughter by threatening to release a sex tape and nude photographs involving her. On information and belief, Mrs. Paulson also knew that she had not received inside information from an anonymous Chrisley Knows Best crew member or from Lindsay Chrisley herself corroborating the sex tape statements. Indeed, Lindsay Chrisley also testified under oath that certain of Mrs. Paulson's claims about receiving information from her are false. Mrs. Paulson falsely claimed and implied otherwise in order to bolster her own credibility in repeating and elaborating on this malicious lie. The fact that Mrs. Paulson invented corroborating evidence further demonstrates Ms. Paulson's knowledge that the sex tape statements were false. Let me read that again. Hold on. The fact that Katie Joy invented corroborating evidence further demonstrates that Katie's knowledge of the sex tape statements were false. So they're basically saying, like, she added information, she invented corroborating evidence to make it seem even more legit. Finally, Mrs. Paulson removed a number of the most egregious of the sex tape statements from her various social media pages. In particular, she removed her video claiming Did we just skip? Okay, Mrs. Paulson further made the sex tape statements because their sensational nature drew a large audience to her social media presence. Mrs. Paulson monetized this web traffic through her company without a crystal ball. Mrs. Paulson broadcast of the sex tape statements to an audience of many thousands has spread and perpetuated this false allegation that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his own daughter with the release of a sex tape and nude photographs. Not content merely to claim that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his own daughter. Mrs. Paulson has recently taken to claiming that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort her as well. In a series of social media posts, Mrs. Paulson falsely stated that in responding to her serial harassment, Mr. Paulson had acted criminally. The Paulson extortion claims, that's what they call these, the Paulson extortion claims. These claims include the following. On August 6, 2021, Mrs. Paulson wrote on Twitter, "Today we served Todd Chrisley's attorney with a cease and desist for defamation, extortion, and tortious interference for the threats he made over the past 3 weeks. It's against the law to threaten to destroy someone unless they provide private information. Extortion is a felony." I got a kick out of it when I was watching Emily watch this, because she was like, huh, yep, extortion is a felony. And there was a few other things that Katie said that she was like, yep, that's true. I always get a kick out of it when Katie will like say something a certain way, like it's not obvious, you know. Helen, I showed those a while back. I showed screenshots. I actually showed a video. I think it was a video. I think it was a video. I think I showed it, but I know that I've discussed it. There's a video where Katie says, "Lindsay Chrisley, oh, that's her. She's the boring one on the podcast with Kel Lowry. Coffee Combos? That's Lindsay Chrisley? I didn't know that. Oh, God, she's so boring." That's one thing that she said. And then even after they were friends, after they become friends, Lindsay was talking to this person on Twitter that was trying to have Coffee Combos like shut down ultimately because this person was accusing Kel Lowry of making racist comments. And she was talking to Lindsay about this, allegedly. And then she was going back to this person and like repeating things that Lindsay was saying to her. Like, well, Lindsay needs to know if this is true, because if this is true, then Lindsay needs to know before like their little hiatus is over or whatever, and they go back to work, because she don't want to work with someone that's racist. But then she was talking crap about Lindsay to this person that she didn't even know. And then the person outed her. The person posted these screenshots on Twitter. Like, oh, well, what good friend you have in Katie, because here she is talking about you to me and she don't even really know you. Or she don't even really know me. So Katie like took a screenshot of a selfie that Lindsay posted, and it had a Bible quote underneath it. And it was on her Instagram. It was a really pretty picture of Lindsay. She took a screenshot of it, sent it to this person that she barely knew. I was like, oh my God, that's so tacky. You know, Lindsay's never publicly defended the LGBTQ community. She gets mad when you question her dad's sexuality. So she was literally talking crap about her great friend, Lindsay Chrisley. But sources have told me that Lindsay don't like Chrisley. Sources told me I had those, but my phone just kicked the bucket. I'll have to find them and I'll put them up on a video for you guys so you guys can see that if you guys want to. But I'll have to find them. But a source told me that Lindsay was not aware of like the type of person that Katie was. She thought that she was like a decent person because of the way that she, you know, came at her when all this was going on. So she confided in her a little bit. But when she realized the type of person that Katie was, then she got scared, because she was scared that Katie would go after her the way that Katie has went after other people. So she's just scared to like stand out and stand up against Katie. But it's pretty obvious. Like she don't follow Katie on anything. The last I was informed. And when Katie like tweets at her, she doesn't acknowledge it. Let's see. That same day, Mrs. Paulson wrote a post on Instagram with screenshots of the above tweet stating, "Extortion is a felony and punishable by prison time. At this time, we have not reported this to the FBI. Threatening someone to hand over private information or else you will ruin them is extortion, and under the law is a criminal felony." That's what she said. Emily Baker laughed at that one. She was like, it's just a felony, you know. "We take these threats seriously as Mr. Chrisley is on bond for federal charges related to a 9-count indictment." Okay, to talk about that tweet, I remember when she tweeted that, extortion is a felony and punishable by prison time. All that he was saying I think he's a troll, Candy. Yeah. All that he was saying, all that Todd was stating was basically like, we're going to sue you. You will be deposed. And you're going to have to tell us where you got this information. He didn't say, tell us where you got the information or you will be sued. He said, you're going to be sued and we will find out where you got this false information that you're spreading about us. There's a huge difference in tell me or I'll sue you, because that's more along the lines of a threat, or I'm going to sue you so I can find out where you're getting this information. And, you know, that happens sometimes. Look what happened last time with the Tati Westbrook situation. They sued her and then they found out where she got the information. That's not a threat. That's the way it worked, you know, because she did not want to be sued again in the proper jurisdiction. She knew it was coming. Katie knew they was going to sue her again in the proper jurisdiction. So she knew she had to give up Clark Swanson, and she did so. Why then wasn't she yelling, no, this is extortion. You can't do this. You can't do this. Because that's not the way that it works. At this time, we have not reported this to the FBI. Threatening someone to hand over private information or else you will ruin them is extortion, and under the law is a criminal felony. Also, just to hit on that a little bit, he said he was going to ruin you with this lawsuit. Never was it handed over or I will ruin you. It was like, girl, you're done. Stick a fork in you. You're done. You've done and ruined yourself with all the stuff that you've said, you know. Also, we take these threats seriously as Mr. Chrisley is on bond for, what does that have to do with anything? What is the fact that he's out on bond for federal related tax charges have to do with anything? If it was, we take these threats seriously because he's out on bond for, you know, murder, then it would be like, okay, I see why we're taking them seriously, because this one was out on bond because he killed somebody. No, it's federal charges on and related to money. Money, you know. Yes, she does. Mrs. Paulson broadcasted the Paulson extortion claims to many thousands of people through her social media outlets. These allegations of criminality are false. Mr. Chrisley at no point attempted to extort Mrs. Paulson, and Mrs. Paulson's accusations are clearly not meant as rhetorical hyperbole. There we go. Rhetorical hyperbole. Takes me a minute to think about that word. Mrs. Paulson knew these statements to be false. Yes, she did, or at least acted with reckless disregard as to their falsity. She again made these statements in an effort to drive web traffic to her various social media accounts for her own financial gain. That, in my own personal opinion, is what she does. She takes a situation and then she flips it to make herself the victim in every possible situation. Every scenario where she was the bad guy, she flips it to where she was the good guy and someone else was the bad guy. And it's mind-blowing how she does it. I'm like, she's pretty smart. Like, she's pretty smart how she'll like flip something and word it away to make it sound like someone threatened to extort her, when really, if you just watch her and you're just listening to what she is saying and watching her tweets, then you're like, oh, wow, Todd Chrisley is threatening to sue you if you don't give over private information. That's terrible. But then everybody else over here, they're listening to the podcast where he's saying, we're going to sue you. We're going to find out where you got that information. You're going to be deposed, so you're going to have to give it up. We know what's really going on. But it's crazy the way that she, you know, she has the ability to do this. I remember she said that one time in a stream a while back about not having no friends. All right. Mr. Chrisley incorporates by reference the foregoing paragraphs as if fully set forth herein and further alleges as follows. Mrs. Paulson communicated the sex tape statements to many thousands of people through her various social media outlets. Mrs. Paulson alleged allegations. Let me start that one over. Mrs. Paulson's allegations that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his own daughter with a sex tape and nude photographs, and that he attempted to, what's that say? It looks like it says unborn. No, to something perjury are categorically false. As explained above, Mrs. Paulson knew the sex tape statements to be false when she made them, and at the very least acted with reckless disregard for the truth. She thus made these statements with actual malice. Mrs. Paulson made these sex tape statements to further her own pecuniary interest. She monetized the web traffic these sensational and false claims drove to her various social media platforms through her business without a crystal ball. Under that word looks like it's AUSPICES, but I'm not sure how you would pronounce that, of which she operates her various social media accounts. The sex tape statements accuse Mr. Chrisley of committing crimes of moral turpitude, extortion, and subordinating perjury. They have further harmed Mr. Chrisley in his trade as an entertainer. The sex tape statements therefore constitute defamation per se. The sex tape statements have caused and continue to cause Mr. Chrisley significant reputational harm, mental distress, humiliation, and embarrassment. Mr. Chrisley incorporates by reference the foregoing paragraphs as it is fully set forth herein and further alleges as follows. Mr. Paulson communicated the sex tape statements to many thousands. No, Mrs. Paulson communicated the sex tape statement to many thousands of people through her various social media outlets. Mrs. Paulson's allegations that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort his own daughter with a sex tape and nude photographs, and that he attempted to suborn perjury are categorically false. As explained above, Mrs. Paulson knew the sex tape statements to be false when she made them, or at the very least acted with reckless disregard for the truth. She thus made these statements with actual malice. I agree. She made statements like this with reckless disregard for the truth, like the statement she made about me and my finances. There was not one iota or the fundraiser in her mind that thought maybe this isn't accurate, and if it's not accurate, like it's gonna hurt her. It's gonna hurt her business. It's gonna hurt her channel. It's gonna hurt her reputation. If I'm saying these things and they're not entirely accurate, there's no regard for the possibility of it being incorrect information. She just goes with it. And she doesn't like it when it's done to her. She does not like when someone just goes with information about her, but she does it to other people. And just the other day, after, Gabby Petito's, after the coroner came out with her autopsy results that she died by strangulation, Katie shared this picture of Todd Chrisley with Brian Laundrie side by side, and basically said, like, oh, look at them, look at the similarities in these monsters. And she said, Chris Watts killed his wife and 2 babies, and Brian Laundrie killed Gabby Petito. And no, I'm not being politically correct. No, I'm not saying allegedly. I don't care. She just threw caution to the wind, and she just said he did kill her. And granted, we may all be thinking that. We may all be thinking, yeah, he killed her. You can't get on here and say that he did, because you could find yourself in a lawsuit. You are literally saying that a man killed a woman, and you were in the post. She said, no, I'm not saying allegedly. I'm saying he did it. So once again, God forbid, somehow, he didn't. That don't even have to matter, really. His family could, I don't know. I mean, it probably didn't have to matter. I don't know. But she just threw caution to the wind and just posted it. And that's the kind of things that can get her in trouble, but she don't care. She don't care. She'll do it to people, but when it's done to her, hey, Shar, long time no see, Shar. Okay. Mrs. Paulson made the sex tape statements to further her own pecuniary interests. She monetized the web traffic These sensational and false claims drove to her various social media platforms to her business without a crystal ball. Under the, I should have listened to Emily Baker a little bit harder because I don't know what that word is, of which she operates her various social media accounts. The sex tape statements have caused and continue to cause Mr. Chrisley significant reputational harm, mental distress, humiliation, and embarrassment. Mr. Chrisley incorporates by referencing the foregoing paragraphs as is fully set forward herein and further alleges as follows. I swear it feels like I'm reading the same thing over and over. Mrs. Paulson communicated the Paulson extortion claims to many thousands of people through her various social media outlets. Mrs. Paulson's allegations that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort her and thereby commit a felony punishable by prison time is categorically false. As explained above, Mrs. Paulson knew the Paulson extortion claim to be false when she made it, or at the very least, with reckless disregard for the truth. She thus made these statements with actual malice. Mrs. Paulson made the Paulson extortion claims to further her own pecuniary interest. She monetized the web traffic the sensational and false claims drove to her various social media platforms through her business without a crystal ball under the, I don't know how to pronounce that, of which she operates her various social media accounts. Can we not use that word anymore? Nobody else? No, we don't know how to pronounce it. The Paulson extortion claims accuse Mr. Chrisley of committing crimes of moral turpitude, extortion, and witness tampering. The Paulson extortion claims therefore constitute defamation per se. The Paulson extortion claims have caused and continue to cause Mr. Chrisley significant reputational harm, mental distress, humiliation, and embarrassment. Mr. Chrisley incorporates by referencing in foregoing paragraphs at it as if fully set forth herein and further alleges as follows. Hey, Truth Slew. Mrs. Paulson communicated the Paulson extortion claims to many thousands of people through her various social media outlets. Mrs. Paulson's allegations that Mr. Chrisley attempted to extort her and thereby commit a felony punishable by prison time are categorically false. As explained above, Mrs. Paulson knew the Paulson's extortion claims to be false when she made them, or at the very least acted with reckless disregard to the truth. She thus made these statements with actual malice. Mrs. Paulson made the Paulson extortion claims to further her own pecuniary interest. She monetized the web traffic the sensational and false claims drove to her various social media platforms through her business without a crystal ball. Under the whatever in which she operates her various social media accounts. The Paulson extortion claims accuse Mr. Chrisley of committing crimes of moral turpitude, extortion, and witness tampering. The Paulson extortion claims therefore constitute defamation per se. The Paulson extortion claims have caused and continue to cause Mr. Chrisley significant reputational harm, mental distress, humiliation, and embarrassment. Prayer for relief. Wherefore, Mr. Chrisley prays the judgment be entered in his favor, awarding the following relief. Damages to be proved at trial, but which Mr. Chrisley reasonably believes to exceed over $50,000. An injunction against Mrs. Paulson, further publication of any defamatory allegations set forth herein. Whatever further relief the court deems just and equitable. Keemstar took someone's plaque one time. What's it called? What was it that Keemstar took? The undersigned acknowledges that cost, disbursement, reasonable attorney, and witness fees may be awarded pursuant to Minnesota Statute 549211, sub 2 to the parties against whom the allegations in this pleading are asserted. I feel like that's all. Is that it? I think that's it. Yes, that is it. All right. Whew. YouTube play button. That's what it's called. I want one of those so bad. I couldn't even think what it's called. Really? Really? Truth Slew, have you put up a video yet? Because I saw that you was in Emily's live stream. And I have to say, I was a little disappointed that there wasn't more. Like, that it didn't talk about more. Like, I wanted to know who else is a part of this. But I guess this is the very beginning. This isn't even like an official filing that was going to go into a system of any sort. This is just, as they called it, a pocket service. KJ needs a permanent gag order in place, not just for the public safety, but for hers as well. I would have to agree with you. Truth sleuth. So Emily was saying if she did get the information from Lindsay, then that would be in KJ's favor. If KJ, and like I said, that may be why KJ has been saying stuff like, oh, me and Lindsay are such great friends. Don't talk about my friend Lindsay. She's even trying to butter up to Lindsay. So maybe Lindsay will be like, yeah, I did give her the information. But when she was deposed, Lindsay's already been deposed. She said that she didn't. So I don't know. Now I'm just going to hang out with you guys, and I want to know what y'all's thoughts are. Well, so I just saw that was deleted, and I can't. Oh, someone told me how to pronounce that, and I missed it. But okay. So what did you guys think about that first? I don't know. Like, I was waiting for just like a bomb to kind of drop with it. And I guess it's okay. You know, like it gives his issue with her. And his biggest issue is the sex tape claims. And while me and Sean was talking about this earlier, and I was really hoping that he would do this with me. But he was exhausted. Okay. I think maybe I got it. Yes. Even and during her drunken video, she insinuated she'd been talking to LC all day and night because she said LC had such a hard day and that she was now sleeping. Yes, I did see a clip of that as well. Am I nice or what, everybody? Yes, you are nice. Brittany Renee, hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you have a wonderful day. Auspice. Gotcha. Auspice rhymes with hospice. Probably should have read over that a little bit better before I decided to do that and show you guys just how well I can read. Right. If you're such good friends, why don't your friend follow you on social media? Also, Lindsay, she made a post earlier saying that she was not involved in any lawsuit. She was not being sued, not part of a lawsuit, has nothing to do with a lawsuit. Which kind of goes against, you know, oh, you're so pretty, ladies. Oh, love you too, Lindsay. No, it doesn't rhyme with hospice. Oh, Lord. Maybe I'm not the only one that doesn't know how to say it. Sometimes when I don't know how to say something, I'll look it up on YouTube. You can literally type in the word, how to pronounce whatever, and it'll tell you how to say it. I'm going to have to do that. But yeah, I don't know. Lindsay's already been deposed, and she said, I didn't do it. It is hard reading legal documents. Yeah. But I really want to find out who the other people are that's a part of this. I've heard a few names. And like I said, there were some that I just kind of was like, oh, no, that may hurt the case. Like, I don't want this to be another situation. I don't want this to be another situation where it becomes embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh crap, when Nat involved herself in the Tati Westbrook lawsuit, it just went downhill from there. It just went downhill from there. And I feel like sometimes there's so many people. Oh my God, I bet so, Lindsay. It's hard listening about someone named Lindsay when your name is Lindsay. Some people call her LC, but that's your initials too. I was going to say I could call her LC, but that's your initials too. His last day, so maybe today was apparently his last day. Yeah, I did see, because some of these situations took place like almost 2 years ago. I think one of the videos was like October 19th, 2019. And you have a statute of limitation on some of these things. And I think Emily Baker said that it's 2 years. So he had to get it done pretty quickly. I caught some of Cage's live the other night. She was talking about all this, and it was so hard to watch. She looked like she was on more. Oh, yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. So I guess in 20, I'm going to say 20 business days, we'll figure out, if they're going to move forward with this. I feel like, hope some people don't hurt this case. Right. Let it be. Let it be. That's what I just want to say to people. Like, I get it. Your feelings may be hurt with Katie, but if you don't have a good case with Katie, like between you and Katie, let it be, because it's just going to end up hurting the case. If you're jumping in with like some like craziness, you know what I'm saying? You're jumping in and you're like, KJ said she didn't like my channel. I think KJ did this. Well, no, and you need to be able to prove it, and one incident is not that big of a deal. I mean, it is, when it's to you, when the one situation happens to you, of course it's a big deal, but legally, someone doing something in one time, whatever, it's got to be like over a time period, continuing, like with the Todd Chrisley situation. She's been talking about Todd Chrisley since 2019. And he threatened one time on his podcast, he said, I think I'm going to have to sue this without a crystal ball chick. And she didn't stop. Alleged facts. Don't take focus away from something with more facts, right? Also, KJ wasn't friends with LC until 2020. That's what Emily was saying. I think that's accurate. I think that's true. But she was covering Todd Chrisley's and the Chrisleys before that. And that's where she made the comments about, I think that's why Lindsay felt comfortable talking to her, right? This is just my own little theory. So Katie was covering Todd Chrisley kind of the same way she was covering Tati Westbrook, talking crap about him, saying how she thinks he's gay, how they're like fake Christians, how he's a con, blah, 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 blah. They get indicted. She starts talking about that. Then he's really a con, she's making fun of them. So then when Lindsay Chrisley comes out with, on Dr. Phil with this situation of being extorted, I think more than likely Katie DM'd her maybe multiple times saying, hey, this is what I do. I cover it. And I've been talking about your dad, and I think this, and this, and this, and I'm so sorry that he's doing this to you. You deserve this, and la-di-da. And she, I think Lindsay ended up seeing it and thinking, oh, I'm glad that there's someone out there in the media that feels this way, because I think for the most part, media likes Todd Chrisley for the most part, I feel like. So I think maybe, she thought, oh, she seems like a nice enough person. She covers my dad, and she's been critical of him, and me and him we're not getting along, and he's done XYZ to me. So I feel like maybe she thought she could talk to her. But when she realized, sources tell me, when she realized it was too late, and now she's kind of scared. I wonder how she would feel if the Duggar family came after her for the stuff she has said about them, especially Jim Bob and Michelle. Man, you know what? Oh, they would really have a good case too. Tati Westbrook had a good case. She had a darn good case. And the same thing happened with Tati Westbrook. Katie Joy covered Tati Westbrook, saying all these wild things about Tati. She even talked crap about Clark Swanson. She insinuated that Clark Swanson was not a very smart man. And she insinuated that he lied about where he went to school. Like she brought up his LinkedIn or something. It was like, oh, he claims he went to school here. Thing is they don't even have like whatever degree he went for. They don't even have that at that school. So he lied, talking crap about Tati and Clark Swanson. But then I think Clark Swanson saw her coverage on Tati and thought like, he probably didn't see the coverage on him because she didn't talk about him that much. She talked about Clark Swanson, maybe like 2 videos or something. It was very minimum, but Tati was like a lot. So I think he probably caught wind that she was talking about Tati and he thought, she don't like Tati. Most everybody else likes Tati. So I'm gonna reach out to her. And then she went from disliking this person to liking this person real quick. That's so fake to me, in my opinion. It's very fake when you dislike someone and you've talked crap about them, but then the second they reach out to you, you're like, oh yeah, great. Yes. You want to feed me stories? You want me to tell them in a way that's beneficial to you? Yeah, no problem. Like the same way she did with Janelle. You guys know that she has talked about Janelle so much. And then when Janelle left David, she reached out to Janelle. Janelle finally responded and they started talking and Janelle confided in her about things. Janelle was like, yes, David broke my collarbone. Yes, the kids are scared of David. Yes, Jace doesn't like David. She said all these things. And then when she went back, she quit talking to Katie, or actually, I think right before she went back, someone alerted Janelle that Katie had done something, whatever it was that she done. It made Janelle mad. And Janelle messaged her and was like, how dare you, And then all of a sudden, what is she doing? She jumps on Facebook or she jumps on YouTube to out Janelle. All because Janelle was like, don't talk to me no more. Like you pretended like you was my friend. I confided in you with stuff. And then I find out you're doing XYZ. Don't talk to me no more. So Katie jumps on YouTube and starts saying like, you told me that he broke your collarbone. You told me that he was abusive. You told me your kids don't like him. You told me Jace don't like him. You told me he's mean to Kaiser. You told me all these things. If Katie was a real advocate for domestic violence, she wouldn't have put that out there because it could have potentially put Janelle at risk. Because I do think at this point, Janelle was back with David because I remember a lot of people saying, oh my goodness, like you're going to cause her to get hurt. Yes, guys, I heard that she reached out to Gabby Petito's family. Are we serious? So a lot of people was asking her to donate to the Gabby Petito Foundation because allegedly she's made a lot of money off just the Gabby Petito. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys. I know Renelle put this up the other day, and I don't remember if she put the dollar amount, but she did put like the tweets and 56 minutes ago, an hour ago, Katie said, contrary to popular belief, I won't go broke or be ended by someone filing a frivolous lawsuit. Y'all need to find a hobby. I'm not saying any of that, but I do think her attorney Brown quit because she owed him money. Is that accurate or no? I heard that. I heard that Brown quit because she owed him money from the Tati lawsuit. Okay, so this was on October 10th. October 10th. The Petitos are thinking about joining the lawsuit? Wow, really? Okay, so on October 10th, she had tweeted about Gabby Petito 905 times. Mind you, this just started taking place. When did Gabby Petito go missing? Can somebody give me a date? End of September? Was it the end of September? Like September or was it the end of August? September. Okay. September 11th. Okay. So in a month, less than a month, 1 day shy of a month, she had tweeted 905 times. She had made 231 Instagram posts. She had 21 YouTube videos up, and her views, 666,000 views. 666,000 views on her Gabby Petito videos. So also in that month, she had gotten a new hairdo. She had gotten new eyebrows. Okay. New makeup and a new computer. And her makeup, she wears that Natasha Denona stuff. Natasha Denona, whatever. Don't know. Natasha don't know because I'm not balling like she is. So I don't know how you say that woman's last name. But these girl, that Natasha, her palettes are like $200, $300, right? And that's what Katie has been spending her money on. Yes, she has made roughly about $30,000 from my understanding, off Gabby Petito, off this story in a month. About $30,000, you guys. So people have been asking her, hey, are you going to donate to the Gabby Petito Foundation? One lady's comment was deleted. Natasha denomination. One comment was deleted. Someone said, are you going to donate to Gabby's foundation? It was deleted. And then Todd come through and asked why, or something to that effect. Wasn't it, Renelle? He said, what? He said, what or why? Something to that effect. Anyways, after she got a lot of pressure, she donated, but then she announced the donation. Like, she could have just been like, hey, you guys don't know if we donate or not. We're not going to put it out there. You can assume yes or no, whatever. But I'm not going to make this money and not, donate money at points, whatever. But she donated, and then she had to announce that she donated $1,000 to the foundation. And then she started telling other people, if you're gonna push me to donate, y'all need to donate. Where's everybody else's proof that they've donated? Everybody else needs to donate. Girl, you weren't even going to donate at first. Like, calm down. You don't know if other people have. A lot of people have. But so after she made this donation, I heard that after she made this donation, she reached out to Gabby Petito's family and told them, like, hey, this is allegedly, because I just heard this. I didn't see the proof of this. Hey, just letting you guys know, we donated $1,000 to the donation. If you guys need anything, please feel free to reach out. So sorry for what you're going through. Like, what? Why would you do that? I told her if she pulls that shirt down anymore, YouTube gonna move her to gold member status, OnlyFans. Thank you so much for the super chat. A lot of people prefer their donation to be anonymous as well. Right. So yeah, she announced the donation. Then she started telling other people, and not in a nice way, not like, if you guys can donate, please try to do so. It was, if you're going to force me to donate, y'all need to donate too, which I thought was just really classless and tacky. And then she allegedly sends a message to the family. Yeah, Kendall Ray donated a lot. So she donated $1,000 and pocketed $29,000. Allegedly, Kendall Ray has donated $50K so far. I saw that. Right, it's not a contest. You know what? While we're here, let's take a look at Social Blade. Now, I do have to say, Social Blade is not 1,000% accurate. Sometimes it can be off a little bit. I know last month it was really off with me. But it does give you like an estimate. You know what I'm saying? One thing that I'm pretty certain of with Social Blade is if it tells you someone's making like $10,000, it's not going to be below that. It will be more than that, because like one month it said I was making like this amount and I made like a good bit above that. But it's never said that I was going to make something and I made below that. It's usually, close or above. So right now it's saying that she her estimated monthly earning is almost 13,000, and and keep in mind, YouTube's numbers are about 2 days behind. Today is the 19th, so that would be about the 17th, and it could be a couple thousand off. It was for me one time. It was like 3 off. Thank you, Plum Creek Farms. Make money off KJ. How are you any different? Versus making money off Gabby Petito, someone who was killed. There's a big difference here, and Katie is being sued because she says things that are not true and she states them as facts. Katie just decided to start covering Gabby Petito because she saw it as a way to pull in money. It was a money. Yeah, exactly. It was money for her. So there's a huge difference. I don't cover. KJ is alive. There's a big difference. I cover, and that's the thing. KJ started covering, like reality TV news and gossip the same as I did. We were covering the same things. She started out, first she was doing that pseudoscience first. And then she started with the reality TV news and gossip because why? Money. That's why. She stated that before, that the pseudoscience really wasn't going anywhere. So she started doing reality TV news and gossip. That's what I do. So it was, when something happens and it's getting a lot of attention, but it's not your normal coverage. Usually you're like, okay, I'm really interested in this, so I think I'm going to talk about it. Or it's like, wow, that's getting a lot of attention. If I start covering it, I'm probably going to make a lot of money. And I feel like that was the difference here.
And it was done in complete poor taste. I mean, so many things that she's done were done in poor taste, and like just completely things that she said have been completely inconsiderate and disrespectful to Gabby. So it's a big difference. I mean,
but yeah. So in 20 days, there will either be a filing or there won't be a filing. And if there is, I will cover it. I will try to remain professional. But like I said, I do have some, personal stake in the situation because of my history with KJ, but still, I do want to keep it as professional as possible. Elle Bee, may I have friends. What about the Duggars jokes about finding bra laundry? Oh my goodness, yes. A lot of people have brought up the Duggars suing her. As much as I'm like, they would have a case, I would be completely shocked if they ever did, because they're kind of extreme in their religion, and I think more along the lines they probably don't believe in it. I really don't think so. Covering someone's tragedy is completely different than calling out bad behavior. Right. Don't forget, she called she called a 9-year-old girl who had said she had been essayed. She called her a brat. She's like, just think she's acting like a brat. KJ is trash. What I'm asking is, yes, she makes money off news, but you literally make money continuously talking about KJ. So what's the difference? I'm seriously confused. Well, one thing, Tina, is I don't continuously talk about KJ. I only talk about KJ when there's something new that's happening with KJ. The only time I talk about her is like today. I talked about her because this happened. Last time I talked about her was because Todd said XYZ on his podcast. That's it. All my other content that I upload Monday through Friday, those 2 or 3 videos per day, Monday through Friday, usually have nothing to do with Katie. And she makes money off news. Yeah, normally she doesn't, though. Yeah, if you can't see the difference, I can't help you. I'm sorry. There's such a big difference. She doesn't normally cover that. She saw this like, oh my God, the whole world's talking about Gabby Petito. What? I cover reality TV. I talk about Todd Chrisley. I talk about the Duggars. But you know what? I'm going to change, and I'm going to just zone in and jump at this one, and I'm going to cover this nonstop so I can make a ton of money. Yep. Yeah. I wish one of them at least complain and strike her 3 times. They could easily pick. Yes, they could. Right. That's the thing. I'm glad you said that, Southbug, because also a big difference is I'm not going to put false information out there. I'm not going to lie about someone. I'm also not going to talk about someone's sexuality. She claims to be an advocate for the LGBTQ community, but yet she's always saying that she thinks some of the Duggar kids are gay and how they should just come out of the closet. And well, if she should know, as much as she covers them and how extreme they are in their religion, that they probably never would. So why would she want to put that information out there and make it harder for them? Just say, one of the Duggar kids is gay, and they know this, and they've struggled with the fact that they're being gay, right? And they've tried to go again. They tried to stay straight, keep those thoughts out of their mind because they know this. And it's caused them so much pain, so much heartbreak, to the point to where maybe they've even considered suicide because this has hurt them so much. And then we have KJ over here who's constantly talking about the fact that maybe they're gay, while claiming to be an advocate for the LGBTQ community. No advocate for the LGBT community would ever do that to anyone, would ever try to out someone as being gay, especially someone that comes from such a Christian, conservative, extremist type family, right? Thank you, T. So yeah, I'm not lying on people. When I talk about KJ, I either talk about what's going on in that moment, or I will sometimes throw my personal experience in with her. And if you want to know about my personal experience with KJ, I have a little series on my channel that you can look, the part 1, part 2, part 3. And then there's other videos where she dug into my finances and lied about my finances. There's videos, same video, where she paid for my finances. She claimed that I lied to people about my children's football team in order to collect money. Also lies. And I had to put videos out to prove that that was lies. So I have proof that KJ has lied on me. Other creators have proof that KJ has lied on them. So that is the difference there. Is she like Todd said in his filing, is that she, with reckless disregard, she tells lies with no care about how that's going to affect someone. I just talk about celebrities. The information that I usually put out there is already out there anyways, and I'm just going to add to it and give them my 2 cents about it. It is what it is, and that's what it is in every situation. Exactly. You also do not put fake donation links asking people for money, saying it's going to give and grant money to disability families like KJ did for years on every single article she wrote. That's the first I've heard about that. But I did hear about, I know that T-Spiracy has really been hounding KJ to prove that she donated to the Ronald McDonald. That fundraiser where she said, lies, I know because I'm from around here with Elle Bee. You don't have to defend yourself with B. Oh, thank you, Brandy. Don't get sued if you do not want to be covered. That's not the same as exploiting someone's death for money. Right. Yeah, like Katie likes to say, I've heard her say this before, and in this business, you get sued. It's just what it is. Well, really, no, I don't think so. I think there's a lot of people out there that's never been sued, and they'll never be sued, because even the people that I cover that don't like the fact that I cover them, they don't have grounds to sue me. Like Janelle, she doesn't like me. Janelle has specifically said she does not like me. But one thing that Janelle said about me is, don't watch her. I don't like her. And then one thing she said about Katie is Katie lies. She can't say that I'm lying, because I'm putting out stuff that I know, or stuff that's already put out there, and it didn't come from me. It's coming from another party. So I'm not doing it maliciously, and I never tried to be mean, rude, or ugly. I try to always keep in mind that the people that I'm talking about are people. They're human beings with feelings as well. I think she forgets that.
Yeah, like somebody said, she thinks there's no repercussions, no consequences for her actions. She can do whatever she wants to do. She can say whatever she wants to say. And she thinks that nobody's smart enough to understand what she's doing. She thinks she outsmarts everybody, which is a big difference. Ain't nobody trying to get over here. Ain't nobody trying to, just trying to hit a cash grab, a quick cash grab on a piece of news. I mean, if there was a YouTube channel that covered stuff like that and they made videos about it, okay, fine. But making video after video about it and inserting yourself and saying things that she said and being as disrespectful, like, that's sick. It's sick. It's disgusting. And anybody, I mean, I just woke up, but just go on with your live stream, because I'm about to start throwing people out. I don't care. I'm not in the mood to play with people tonight.
No, it's fine. It's just one person. I don't even think that's really their name. I think it's somebody else.
I shouldn't even have, okay. Nobody should have to explain. If somebody has to explain to you what the difference is, then you're just like her, and you just need to go on about your business. Like, we don't want you here. Go on. We don't need you. We don't need you to watch. We don't need you to subscribe. We don't need nothing. Hit the thumbs down on your way out and hit the door.
Hit the thumbs down and hit the door. I did not know this, but I'm actually going to is this okay? Without a crystal ball, WOACB, a victim's voice. Can I show your Twitter? Can I show this? Good night, Nat B. Throw them out. Hey. They clearly not a big fan of your channel. They wouldn't know Katie is by far not the main topic. Exactly. Yeah. Normally, this month has not been a normal month for me because doctor's appointments, homecoming, and a lot of things going on where I've missed a lot of work. And then my phone broke yesterday. So the videos that I was able to record when the phone broke, lost them, had to re-record them, and did that with my son's phone. And the volume is junk. The sound is terrible. But I've uploaded 2 so far. And I'm going to go ahead and upload that last one. And then tomorrow, I guess I'm going to start working with Sean's phone, I guess, until my new phone gets here. But yes, my phone just looked up naked in. You're welcome. Look up naked. Okay. Okay. I'm going to show this. Spank you. Okay. So I was not aware of this. Yes. CC my phone. So for years now, Katie Joy Paulson has been lying and asking for money to be given to her under the guise of it helping to give funding to families, children with disabilities before YouTube. Before YouTube, she wrote before YouTube, she wrote bull blogs to manipulate people's kindness to get donations to her fake fundraising. I did not know that. So it says, why subscribe? This is her blog. Our goal is to eventually write a book. There's no book that's been written. So, yep, that didn't happen. Pay contributors to our site. No. And provide grants for families to purchase items not covered by insurance. We support and advocate for all women and families, writing, advertising, and reaching parents in need requires a lot of time and financial resources. Due to the way many social media outlets structure business pages, we often have to pay for our own content to be viewed. Buy me a coffee or subscribe and commit to a small monthly donation to support my writing. Funding provided by donations allow me to pay for images, pay contributors, and raise funding for grants for families with children with disabilities. I did not know that. I would like for her to provide some proof that people that donated to her blog, that she did something like that. You're certainly much kinder to people who disagree with you in the KJ. Oh, that's one thing that I wish I could tell people when they want to come at me about KJ. I want to just say, okay, look, just as an experiment, next time KJ is live, say something similar to her that you just said to me and see her reaction. Because her reaction is going to be really rude, nasty, and ugly, and you're probably going to get kicked out. Whereas I will try to talk a little bit, like I usually don't get like upset or bothered or mad or whatever. I don't think she really cared about the sad stories. She always wrote it was to get traffic to her fake donations. Dang, I totally missed what you read. Candy was that with Patheos? Is that when she wrote for Patheos? Talk about John Yates. What do you want me to say about John Yates? I don't really know him that well. I mean, we follow each other on social media. We had one little incident where I was covering the situation between him and Sherelle, and then he struck my channel. He took the strike off. We chit-chatted. I don't really know much about him. She has a podcast. It's called, wait, who does? I wonder if that's how KJ and Ty built their house. KJ says stay on topic in the chat. We cannot, my moderators could never say stay on topic in the chat because I don't even stay on topic as the host. I'm always jumping around. They would have to be adding me. Hey, stay on topic. Well, yes, thank you. You can try to promote my videos on Instagram and IG, whatever. Share them on the Facebook, on the Twitter, everywhere you think somebody might will watch it. Like them, watch them, love them. Meant Twitter, IG, and Insta. Oh, yeah. But until tomorrow, I'll see you guys later, and you're welcome. I'm glad that you guys got to see it because I'm so proud of Paris, you guys. But I will see. I'm proud of all my kids, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Comment.